Hello yogis, my name is April and welcome to the Yoga Ranger Studio and welcome to your practice. So at the end of the day, maybe even at the beginning of the day, but at the end of the day, definitely a lot of people will have some lower back pain or some lower back discomfort. And this comes from our everyday living, what we've been doing in our day. Maybe you have a job where you lift a lot of things or you carry a lot of things or where you sit a lot. And a lot of these muscles at the very back of our body, like the hips, the glutes, and the lower back, get very stuck, stiff, or overworked very quickly because they're large muscle groups. So in this practice, you can use this anytime, but I would really definitely suggest evening time to help unwind any tension in your lower back. We're going to take some stretches that will kind of help move some of that tension out and really open up the space, make you feel a little bit better, a little bit more loose so that you can sleep better and your back will feel a little bit better. So all you need for this practice is a strap. You can use a robe, tie, or a towel or anything you want. I just happen to have a strap, a very long one. And I have a blanket because I like to sit on a blanket for some of my poses. It helps me to sit up a little taller, but you don't have to have the blanket at all. You can just sit on the floor if you want to. And you could probably do this practice in bed. It wouldn't make any difference here. So our strap off to the side until later. And we're going to go ahead and take our right leg out, left foot to the inner thigh of that right leg. So I'm going to tilt myself so it makes a little bit more sense for you to see me this way. And here you could have that foot lower, higher, it doesn't matter wherever it feels most comfortable for you. Flexing those right toes so they point straight up toward the ceiling and start to fold yourself forward. Now here we're going to really kind of stretch this lower back space. So we're going to take that left hand to the outside of the right calf and we're going to fold into that. Here you may feel a lot of stretch. If you're like me at all, you have some tighter hamstrings or tighter calves, you may feel that stretch a little bit more. If you have more mobility, you can go ahead and take that hand on the outside edge of that right foot. This is a little twist with a forward fold. So you're getting deeper into these big muscles at the lower back. Taking some nice deep breaths. 2 more. And then go ahead and start to slide your hand back up and we're going to switch sides. Same thing here. Leg out to the side a little bit. That right foot to the inner thigh or wherever you want to put it. Toes straight up, flexed foot. We want to bring those toes towards your nose. And this really activates the back of the leg. Turning yourself over that left leg, fold down first. And then take that right hand to the outside of the left leg, foot, whatever you can reach, whatever feels good for you. And here we want to be a really active stretch. You want to really press through the heel of this left foot. Bring those toes towards your nose. Nice deep breaths. One more deep inhale and exhale. Slowly walking yourself back up. And here we're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. So once again, I like to sit on the edge of a blanket where I'm just on the edge where it allows my pelvis to tilt naturally. Take your legs as wide as you can. Flex your toes. The more you flex your toes and press through that heel, the more you're going to feel more opening in this inner thigh, inner leg. And here, you may have mobility to fold really far forward, or you may be here. It's all the same, right? We're not going to really push this. We're going to allow gravity to kind of take us where we need to go. Nice deep forward fold. If this is just too much for your hamstrings, you can always bend your knees and get a little deeper into the back. These are both versions of a really great stretch for the lower back and the legs. And maybe as we hold this, you find that you can take your knees a little less bent. Sometimes I find that's the case, depending on how my hamstrings are feeling. Nice deep inhale, nice deep exhale. If you have more mobility, maybe you're closer to the floor, you can reach around and grasp onto your feet or your ankles or your calves. One more deep inhale and exhale. Start to walk yourself back up. And we're going to come onto our hands and knees for a little cat-cow. So starting with our cat-cow, we just want to drop the belly down, lift the chin, bring the heart forward, and then start to arch and round away from the floor. Maybe your first few cat-cows, they're a little bit less, and you can feel a lot of tension. I often feel a lot of tension in my lower back, my upper back. And as I keep moving through another 3 of these cat-cow movements, I find a little more opening. I can stretch a little bit more deeply. And then just taking one more round, ending in our cat arch. Coming back to center and taking a little puppy pose. So shifting your hips back just a little bit, walking your hands forward, sliding down. Maybe you come down where your forehead is on the floor or your chin is on the floor. Nice deep stretch for your upper back too, but it also gets a little bit of your lower back. If this is too much for your lower back right now, engage your core just a little bit and tuck that belly up a little bit so that you flatten the lower back a little bit more. Three more deep breaths. Slowly starting to come back up. We're going to bring our big toes together. Knees super wide and shift back into child's pose. So here you can stack your hands on top of one another. We've got a big stretch for our shoulders and upper body, so we can relax back here a little bit. If this is a lot, here again, you can use a blanket underneath, or you can lift up a little bit higher so it's more of kind of like a half a puppy pose. Sometimes it may feel good in this pose to rock a little bit back and forth, especially if your back has been really tight and you've been in a seat all day, or you're feeling kind of some twinginess back there, just rocking a little bit side to side. And then settling into the child's pose. 2 more breaths here. And then walking your hands back out. We're going to walk our hands really far over to the right, as far as you can, where you can keep those hips sort of over the other foot. Stretching that left hand out as far as you can away from you. That's going to open up the whole side waist, affecting also the bigger muscles in the back and some of the smaller ones as well. 3 deep breaths. And walking back through center, and same thing on the other side. Walking as far as you can over to the left, walking that right hand way out and over. Settling in 3 deep breaths. And coming back to center and coming all the way onto your back. So here's where we're going to make use of that strap. We're going to start by bringing the right knee into your chest. You can take your hands in front of that shin or behind the knee and just kind of bring that knee into your chest. Give a nice long stretch to the entire back side of the right side. So the fascia line is a big backside body line that runs all the way down from the shoulder down to the heel. And we're just kind of stretching that out a little bit more. Here's a good chance to circle your ankles, flex your toes. And then take your strap and place it right below the toes. So not in the arch of the foot, but right below the toes. We're going to bring that foot up, press through the toes toward your nose, and just stretch. So it's better to have the foot further away from you than it is to have that knee bent. So just bring those toes as close as you can. It's going to really, once again, stretch that back hamstring, the back body, the calves, the Achilles tendon, and the bottom of the feet with all the tendons underneath there as well. And then go ahead and take both ends of that strap into your right hand. I'm going to have to shuffle over to make more room. But take your left hand to your left hip and take that right leg out to the right as far as you can. So my window's stopping me, but if you want to come all the way to the floor, feel free to come all the way to the floor. Here again, keeping that leg nice and straight, the toes reaching toward your body. So sometimes when we've been sitting a long time, our hamstrings will get very stuck, and so will the front of our hips, that psoas muscles. So we want to kind of open up those spaces, and this is a great pose for that. Great series of poses. Coming back through center, switching that both ends of the strap into your left hand. You're going to take your right thumb and tuck it in that right hip and push that hip away from you, and then take the leg a little bit across the body. So oftentimes we'll take a full twist across the body. Here we're just going to take it off where you feel a lot of stretch in the outer edge of the body, that outer edge of the calves and the outer edge of our whole line of the outer hip. And then coming back to center, both hands on either end of the strap, pull those toes a little bit closer, and then release that foot down, put the strap off to the side. We're going to switch sides, this time bring that left knee in, walk that right foot out. Here, hug that knee in, hand behind or in front of the knee. Circling the ankle, pointing and flexing the toes, getting a little foot stretch too. And pull that knee in, really feeling that stretch. And reach for your strap. Here again, place it right below the toes. Bring that foot up, flex strongly. So press your heel, bring your toes towards your nose, straighten your leg out. Take a couple of breaths here. You really feel that a lot of times in the hamstring and lower back. Keeping in mind that all of these leg muscles and the glute muscles are all tied into your back as well. So kind of stretching that out really helps. And then taking both ends of the strap into your left hand, right hand to your right hip to hold that hip down a little bit. You're going to take that left leg out to the left. Here again, finding a place where you feel that nice deep stretch into the inner thigh. Maybe it's all the way down to the floor. Maybe it's about halfway where I'm at. Wherever you can go. Strong flexion of that foot, the heel pressing outward. Coming back through center, switching both ends of the strap into the right hand this time, left thumb to that left thigh crease, pressing that thigh away from you, and then taking that leg across the body to where you feel some stretching or some sensation in the outer hip, outer calf muscle, maybe the back of the calves or the hamstrings. And gently coming back through center, both hands on either end of the strap. Pull those toes a little bit closer. You may find that it's a little easier to get them closer. And then release that foot. Take the strap off to the side. Go ahead and walk your feet out. We're going to take the feet over toward the right, upper body over to the right. A little crescent stretch. This one we're going to take our hands way up overhead and maybe interlace the fingers, stretching as far as we can. We want to get that outer hip as well. And then coming back through center, switching to the other side. Heels going way over this time to the left. Arms up and over. Stretching out the right side of the body. And then coming back through center. Bending your knees. We're going to cross that right leg over that left, knee upon knee. Shift your hips over toward the right and drop those knees over to the left. Now, I love a twist at the end of my practice no matter what. It always seems like it unwinds that last bit of tension. Right arm can go out to the right. I like to take the left hand either onto my belly or out to the outer hip. Just give a little bit more stretch here. 5 deep breaths. Coming back through center, switching sides, doing the other side the same. Crossing legs, shifting hips, dropping those knees over to the side. Maybe you get your back to pop. I often do on this side. Gently coming back through center. Bring your knees into your chest. Take your hand on each one of the knees and just rock a little bit back and forth. And then maybe making some little circles. This gives you a little lower back massage right around the sacrum and the pelvis. You can switch directions anytime. Hug your knees into your chest. Go ahead and drop your feet wide, drop the knees together, hands to your belly. Take some nice deep breaths here, breathing into the lower back. Gently take your arms up overhead, stretch through your toes, stretch through your fingers, lengthening your entire spine. And then roll over to your right side and slowly make your way back up to a seat, whatever that seat may be. We'll be doing a few little circles to the left and right, finding a little mobility there. Often when we make these little circles, we tend to open up the sideways, which in turn gives us a little more room in the back too. Coming back to center, sweeping hands all the way up overhead, bringing palms together, hands down through heart center. Nice deep inhale, exhale, Om together. Om. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. I hope this unwound some tension in your back. It's a great way to kind of unfurl some of whatever's happened during your day and let go of that tension, provide you with more mobility and strength in this space. I hope you have a wonderful week. Once again, thank you for joining me, and I will see you again very soon.